You ever wake up to find a woman in designer heels spray painting your mailbox orange at 7 in the morning, screaming like a banshee about community standards? Yeah, that happened. Welcome to my life. Get out. You have 24 hours to move, she shrieked, flinging neon paint everywhere. I'm standing there in pajamas, clutching my coffee like a life preserver, trying to figure out if this is some prank show or just the most aggressive welcome wagon in history. Lady, I'm not in your HOA. Don't care, she snaps, tossing a fistful of papers at my door. You'll follow our rules or get out. I pick up the mess and realize it's an eviction notice, a fake one straight off the internet, crayon scribbles and all reeking of wet paint and psychotic rage. That's how I met Brenda Whitmore, Maple Grove's self-declared dictator. Now let me back up a sec. Name's Marcus Blackwood. Bought this house for one reason: freedom from HOA tyranny. After my divorce, I wanted peace. This ranch house, hardwood floors, basement with a diesel tang for my motorcycle, and most important, outside the Maple Grove HOA line. Stone markers from 1962 made it clear their beige paradise was not my problem. But Brenda, she lived 50 feet away in a $600,000 clone house, ruled the HOA board for 8 years, measured grass with rulers, married to a city councilman. Think small-town power couple with a god complex. The first morning I learned I wasn't just a neighbor, I was public enemy number one. See, Brenda wasn't just petty, she was industrial scale. After her mailbox attack, I went to install security cameras. Jake at the hardware store just grinned. That woman's running folks off for years, son. Good luck. You'll need it. Next day, Brenda comes back with the cavalry. I'm pouring cereal and suddenly it's Normandy outside. Car doors slam, city code officer in tow. 3 HOA lieutenants with cameras, surprise inspection. Knocked so hard I almost spill my coffee. Mr. Blackwood, we got complaints, zoning violations, mailbox, commercial vehicle, business equipment. I just stared. My truck's personal. The mailbox is original motorcycle's mine. Martinez, the code guy, looked like he'd rather be anywhere else. Honestly, your property looks fine, but someone's very persistent with paperwork. I glance at Brenda. She's smiling like a shark perfume, not quite covering the stench of corruption. She leans in. After all, fake neighborly, properties that don't maintain standards. Things happen. Sometimes the market adjusts. Sometimes code enforcement finds issues. Sometimes neighbors get creative. Threat, clear as day. Then she mentions my home's last owner, Mrs. Stella. Poor woman couldn't take the stress, family sold quick after the funeral. That's when the penny dropped. Brenda had harassed an old lady into her grave. That night I found "Move or Else" spray painted on my garage. I wasn't scared. I was furious. 20 years in IT consulting taught me to handle corporate bullies. Brenda just declared war on the wrong guy. That week it went nuclear. Brenda started documenting everything like a tabloid photographer. Cameras caught her creeping onto my lawn 14 times in 3 days. Complaints flew faster than bullets. My mailbox, my driveway, my dog barking, you name it. Martinez kept coming back, more embarrassed every time. She files reports every 6 hours, he muttered. Sorry, man, law says I gotta respond. But I wasn't just playing defense. I started digging. Public records showed Brenda filed 847 complaints in 5 years, every single one targeting non-HOA homes. 0 against her beige army. Even juicier, she'd been listing agent on every harassed out sale. Each time a non-HOA house got sold low after a complaint barrage, it ended up with buyers tied to Whitmore Development, her family company. But the twist that changed the game came one morning when my sprinklers got accidentally destroyed after a city gas leak check. Funny thing, my night vision cameras caught Brenda herself out at 2 a.m., smashing them with a shovel, muttering about teaching lessons. That footage went straight to the HOA board, her broker, and the local paper. Boom! Her world started cracking. Emergency meetings broke her, chewing her out. even her deputy hinting Brenda had gone off the rails. And Brenda, she lost it, screaming at my house, threatening to destroy me. Neighbors watched Mrs. Rodriguez shaking her head, Jake giving me a thumbs up from across the street. For the first time, Brenda looked scared, but she still had cards to play. Monday, 3 city vehicles showed up Code Fire Environmental Health like I was running a meth lab. Orders from Councilman Whitmore Martinez apologized. They found nothing, but Brenda watched from her sidewalk throne, taking photos, bribing inspectors with donuts, whispering about cleanup orders and 50 grand fines. She was so arrogant she bragged to an inspector, not knowing my cameras caught every word. That afternoon, I switched from defense to offense, filed state real estate complaints, ethics commission reports, dropped audio evidence with the press. Next day, Brenda's license was suspended. Ethics probe opened on Roger, and the newspaper ran a front-page expose. Her panic was a thing of beauty. She offered me $50,000 over market just to go away. I laughed in her face. You should have thought of that before you vandalized my property. That's when she tried to dig up dirt, hired a PI to stalk my daughter at college, filed IRS complaints, tried to plant drugs in my garage. But her investigator grew a conscience and handed over hours of damning recordings, Brenda plotting every crime right down to paying Craigslist actors to pose as federal agents. My lawyer friend Rebecca, Mrs. Stella's granddaughter, turned the screws. This is elder abuse conspiracy, wrongful death, racketeering, 20 years in prison if the feds bite. The final act was a masterclass in poetic justice. Brenda hired movers to stage a fake eviction, forged court papers, and even broke into my house to steal deeds. But my security system and a nervous landscape crew outed her every move. She tried to bribe me with a settlement admitting to her own crimes, then let it slip on camera that Mrs. Stella's death was no accident. She was weak. Everything that happened was her fault for being stubborn. That recording was the final nail. City council night, the room packed with media and half the town. Brenda strutted in, thinking she'd win again. Rebecca stood up, plugged in her laptop, and let the evidence roll, memos, audio, videos, the works. Brenda's meltdown was spectacular. She confessed live to a decade of crimes, including Mrs. Stella's death, and tried to drag Roger down with her. Detective Morrison slapped cuffs on her crowd, cheering, news cameras flashing. The taste of justice was so sweet I thought I'd float out of the room. 6 months later, I'm on my porch, coffee in hand, watching kids play where Brenda's perfect lawn used to be. She's serving 15 years, no parole, $3.2 million forfeited, forced to apologize to every family she hurt. Roger banned from politics, dirty city officials fired their cronies, bankrupted. My mailbox, the infamous orange one, became a local landmark. Rebecca started a legal foundation in Mrs. Stella's name, funded by Brenda's dirty money, defending families against HOA bullies across the country. Neighborhood transformed overnight. Colorful mailboxes, gardens, real democracy, no more fines or threats. Best part: the black family. Brenda tried to keep out, moved into her old house, painted the door purple, planted a rainbow garden, their kids laughing where Brenda used to scream about property values. That, my friends, is justice with a side of irony. So tell me, have you ever had a neighbor like Brenda? Drop your worst HOA nightmare in the comments. Let's talk about what real justice looks like and how to build better communities. And remember, always document everything, stay legal, and never let the tyrants win, because justice, when it finally comes, tastes better when you share it.